Today, we are going to talk about academic writing. Academic writing, most of the time, when we talk about academic writing, it is not a very quite common term in our surrounding, especially in our arena, in our zone. Mostly people they have no idea of academic writing. Mostly at university level, students they come across this course, this term, and then sometime it becomes difficult for them to handle it. If we have a clear concept of academic writing, it would be a better idea rather than later on if we start thinking about it or start working on it, and then the results are not as good as it should be. When we talk about academic writing, it is a formal style of writing used in educational and research settings. So that's what we call it academic writing because it is used in academic arena, especially in at university level and sometimes in college level as well. So this is such a type of writing which communicates ideas, information, and research to the wider academic community. Specifically, it is research oriented. It is about how to produce ideas in academic zone. Most of the time, it is also considered scholarly writing. Why is it so? The reason to call it so is it is used by scholars, especially those who are researchers. So in different universities, so this topic has been introduced, and those are not familiar, they must have idea about it because we are not familiar with pros and cons of this term, this course. That's why most of the time the students they are failed to write their research work. To do research is one thing. To write a research, that is entirely different. So to write a research, a student must have clear idea of academic writing that in and when they write a research. So how to write a research? What are the pros and cons? What are the basic significant points those they have to follow? Most of the time, students are used to say that we have done our research, but we are failed to publish it because our writing skills are weak. In fact, their writing skills are not weak. They are not familiar with the main features of academic writing. That's why they face such problems. So, academic writing is a kind of writing used in high school and college classes. That's why we call it academic writing. Mostly our students they are introduced with this subject at university level. It is entirely different from creative writing. It is entirely different from personal writing because creative writing, personal writing, such type of writing are those are for self-satisfaction. These are in the form of story writing, where we assume things, where sometimes we don't have required any evidence. We just basically create a situation according to our own style. So, when we talk about creative writing, this is a writing which is for happiness, which is for storytelling, which is for making someone happy. On the other hand, when we talk about personal writing, it is another sort of writing because in writings we have different genres of writing. And when we talk about different genres of writing, so personal writing, creative writing is quite common. And when people have been asked to write something academically, they are failed because they cannot differentiate between creative writing, personal writing, and academic writing. Creative and personal writing are always remember these are informal writing. And here you may use abbreviation, you may use incomplete ideas, you may use some other figurative speeches, you may use phrases But when we talk about academic writing, it is basically away from such type of tone, style, where you use slang, you may use abbreviations, short forms, incomplete sentences, and figurative language. So academic writing is beyond these type of writings. However, academic writing is formal, right? And we have, as already we have discussed, that it is away from slang, abbreviations, or contractions. So that's why we always keep this point in our mind. That what is academic writing? Where do we use academic writing? This is a very important question. As we have discussed, it is scholarly writing. So for book review, for essays, research reports, research proposals, scientific papers, academic journals, dissertation and thesis, such type of writing is being used. Abstract, long summary of a document. It is basically what it's these all things fall under the category of academic writing. For academic writing, such type of writing is basically suggested to use. When we talk about types of academic writing, so there are descriptive, narrative, persuasive, argumentative, but a very important one is persuasive and argumentative rather than descriptive or narrative. At initial stage, we may discuss about descriptive narrative, but it's mostly it focus on persuasive and argumentative. Key features of academic writing to understand what is basically academic writing is it's very important to understand what are the key features of academic writing. If you want to understand its key features, then it will be very easy for you to critically think about what is basically academic writing and how it is different from other types of writings. It is structured. Yes, it needs proper structures. It does not contain incomplete sentences, rhetorical questions. It is not all about it. Then it is systematic. It has its proper way of writing, its structure, its style, which we have to follow while we write something academically. That's why it has a complete proper system. And sometimes we talk about that it has more technicalities. Objectivity. When we talk about objectivity, objectivity means we are talking about that it needs basically one most important, that is what? Facts. It needs such facts, those cannot be denied. For instance, if someone will ask you what is the objectivity of your room, so what is the objectivity? If there is one light or one um, fan is in your room, so this is the objectivity because no one can deny that there is one bulb or there is one fan. But rather than this, if you say it is magnificent or it is spacious, just by using such words, you cannot prove it. For proving that it is magnificent or spacious, you need proofs. Weather is hot today, it's not enough. Rather than this, if you ask this, today it was 40 degrees Celsius, feels like 47. That's why it was too hot, or it was a hot. So, what is this? This is objective. When you add facts and figures in it needs evidences. That's why whenever we talk about academic writing, it we prefer referencing, citation. Without referencing or citation, we cannot basically accept such type of writing. So such type of writing is based on evidences. Then next important thing, avoid plagiarism. Do not write something without any evidence or proof, or do not write something as it is or copy pasting. No, if you are taking something from anywhere, you need to mention from where you have taken this thing. You may go for the synthesis writing, summarization, and these are the good example of avoiding plagiarism. Precise, it is always to the point. In such type of writing, you cannot discuss your emotions, your feelings, such type of words, sentences, gestures, phrases cannot be used. So always it is to the point, and it discuss and it talks about clarity. It doesn't need ambiguity. Even it is not allowed that use such word which basically gives double meaning. Organized, because it has a structured format. So this is organized. It has its complete steps which everyone has to follow. Either we talk about paragraph writing, essay writing, report writing, or we talk about dissertation, abstract writing. These all fall under the category of academic writing. And for this, each and every style of writing which comes under academic writing, they have their own way to write. So that's why you organize according to those pointers. Formal. It has formal tone. It avoids casual or conversational language. Contractions, informal vocabulary, slang language, slang words. It does not allow for such thing. And above to all, it avoids I and you behavior or attitude, means in such type of writings, do not use any type of pronoun. It mostly based on third person, because third person usage, it shows that thing or the written work is basically based on evidences and proofs. So such type of writing, which is considered academic writing, it is properly structured, systematic, objectivity based, evidences based, precise, organized, and formal. Overall, if we talk about academic writing, so it basically has these all qualities, these all things, those have been mentioned in this slide. It needs what it contains: punctuation, referencing, quoting, synthesizing, summarization, vocabulary, style, paragraphing, grammar, language, spelling. It is the combination of these all things. But few things those we need to keep in our mind. It is such a writing which is written in a formal way. Is the very simple example for very young learners. Your books, especially I'm talking about the books of science. There you have failed to find any sort of reflection or point of view of the writer. Directly to the point, things have been mentioned like formulas. Then if we talk about the numericals, chemicals, chemistry theories, but nowhere it has been mentioned that someone has influenced on these things. So such type of writing is called academic writing. I guess for today, its introduction is quite enough for you for the clarity of your concepts. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And the best thing is, if you have understood it, that will be the best part.